if you're in the Fed, is put earmuffs on and just don't listen. I mean, I was at the Fed for 18 and a half years. I have gotten innumerable notes, pledges, requests, etc., to lower rates. I do not recall a single instance in which somebody in the political realm said, we need to raise rates, they're too low.
But did you ever get direct either letters or conversations with the occupant of the Oval Office directly on that issue?
All the time.
All the time.
So, Jay Powell has said, or President Trump has said he hasn't spoken with Jay Powell about it. You had directly from...
Jay Powell was a first-rate Federal Reserve chairman, and you will observe, this guy knows what he's doing. I've known him for years. He's extremely competent, and while I don't comment on what the current policies are or how they're doing it, his competence is really such that I don't worry about where the Fed's going.
Mr. Chairman, the World Economic Forum, or the WEF, says that the United States is now the most competitive economy in the world again after a 10-year hiatus. We haven't been for 10 years. We've regained it. Why? What do you attribute that to? And is it policy? Is it time? What is it?
I attribute it to the fact that the rest of the world is doing worse. We're not doing that well. Our productivity increases are 1 to 1.5% a year. They used to be 3.
Is that demographics?
No, it's policy. It's basically, as we say in this book, and I've said in the previous book, what we're looking at is the impact of entitlements. The one statistic which grabbed my attention, I was accidentally doing some ratios, and I came up with the fact that from 1965 to date, that I don't know how to put it in simple terms, but that the sum of entitlements plus gross domestic savings is, as a percent of GDP, has been remarkably stable. And if you look at the two individual components of that sum, they work against each other, which very much implies that one is crowding out the other. So the question is it entitlements which are government authorized, or is it the market adjusting? And all of the evidence suggests that entitlements are embodied in the outlook, and that they will never change their pattern. They're mandated by law. Therefore, all of the impact is on a reduction. As entitlements go up, gross domestic savings goes down as a percent of GDP, and that plus savings borrowed from abroad, we've already accumulated $8 trillion in debt.
I think that's a very pessimistic outlook, because we've never seen entitlements. We've seen the increase flatten. We've never seen them actually go down, and we never will we? So how can we ever get out?
The answer is we're going to have to. And as we pointed out in the book, following Sweden of a decade or so ago, which had the same problems we are having now, only much worse, converted some of its entitlements, for example, to a way of accounting for them, and to significantly reduce the level of entitlement growth. It's still there, and unless we reverse it, we're in trouble.